Pastor Hilton, this question is for you. I wanted to know. Recently, we had a lot of the social media people that are on social media did a Blackout Tuesday, and that was basically designed to honor Black lives and say that Black lives matter and so forth. But in your opinion, what did you take on that, or what did you actually spend that Tuesday doing?
Well, I actually spent that Tuesday involved in a peaceful protest in downtown Los Angeles. I do believe that protest is great, but it has to be some policy attached to it. So on that Tuesday, I didn't black out as they wanted us to do. We went and did a peaceful protest in downtown Los Angeles.
Excellent, excellent. And Pastor Weaver, I know you come from a different era and a different generation. What would you say, in your opinion? With the there's a lot of issues we had recently when George Floyd passed away. A lot of people didn't really get the memo as far as the peaceful protesting. They were tearing down their own city and looting and rioting. What would you say to that?
Well, this for me, I've seen it before. Being from the generation in the '50s, watching, I mean, so many different events of this nature. The Rodney King Watts riot in the city of Oakland, where the Black Panthers were very strong. I was a part of the Black movement in the '70s, and so I would say that those type of destructive manners or destructive behaviors in the long run, they prove not to be what I would say beneficial to the communities that people destroy, because we destroy our own communities. And this time I've seen something different where communities such as affluent communities in different parts of town were impacted. I would say that it surely did get some people's attention because of what took place. I don't condone it and I don't agree with it, but I feel that that's possibly one of the reasons that people really listened this time, and that it wasn't only African Americans that were protesting or even looting and destroying property. So I would hope that we would be able to do something different where our communities and our voices would be heard without having to go to that type of extreme.
And Pastor Hilton, what would you say, in your opinion, that you think that we can do as a community to continue to make a difference?
I tell people all the time, politics starts local. Create policy on the local level. Get involved. Make sure you vote. Make sure you show up at the city council meeting. And to speak what Pastor Weaver said about burning up our own communities, there's a side that the media shows when people are attempting to protest. They show the negative images of protests, of burning up buildings and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It was in the affluent areas. But I tend to think a different way. I don't think it was our young African American people out there burning stuff. We have to clue in that these places have been closed. These affluent places have been closed for the last 2 months, 8 weeks. I can see a side of us maybe looting and stuff, but a side of us burning buildings. We don't burn police stations. We don't burn buildings. That was the handwork of someone else. So I don't believe it was those protesters, those young Black Lives Matters, but these may be into some people who was trying to get their money back for being closed for the last couple of months.
That's a possibility too, and I believe also that we have to consider that there are people, when there are peaceful protests,
Agitators.
There are people who have a different agenda.
Yes, sir.
And that we have to realize that, and there are people still that want to make us as African Americans look bad and not get our voices heard and our message across. And it's unfortunate that some would take this opportunity to try to spread dissension and create further disunity instead of bringing us together. And so I think we have to identify those, and I think protesters have to identify those people who are trying to do those type of things. And I seen one lady, when a lady was spraying paint on Starbucks, just boldly called her out. And that's what I think that we have to do. We have to stand up, we have to be courageous, and we have to be bold of those who are setting fires, those who are breaking in, those who are doing things, and say, look, this is not our agenda. And so I believe those are things that we have to do. And I agree with Bishop Hilton that we have to vote. We have to vote. We have to be engaged. We have to be involved. And we can't just let politicians make the decisions for us. We need to be making decisions and telling them what we desire, and then standing behind them when they're doing the things. And if they're not, then we need to vote them out. That's my take on that.
Well put. Well, definitely thank you guys for your time. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.